Hello, welcome to this section of our Python for Beginners course. And we are going to talk about roles in a typical software development team. And in doing that, it is important for us to understand who are the key stakeholders in a development team. So let's take the organizations that are relevant for a software development team. On one side, you have customer. So the customer is ultimately the one who's awarding the contract to the software development team or the development company. And on the customer side, you typically have business owners and other stakeholders within the customers. If you take a business owner, they will specify the software requirement that is needed. And on the other hand, when it comes to the actual development team, you have a number of roles. So today we'll be taking a deep dive into each and every role here, and we will have a good understanding of it towards the end of this lecture. So we have roles like product owner, engineering manager, business analyst, and then we have QA engineers, software engineers, UX designers, and software architects. So let's try to understand the importance of each and every role here. So firstly, we are talking about the product owner. So the product owner is the person who is responsible for delivering the required business value in the software development product or the project. Right? So they represent the client so that they have a good understanding about the customer's requirements, and then they safeguard the interests of the client as well. Typically, a product owner would lead the development effort together with software engineers, engineering managers, QA engineers, UX designers. They will lead the development effort. And of course, they are responsible for prioritization as well. So on a typical day, given a day, this product owner will set the priorities for the development team, and the team will work towards those priorities. And they will involve in documenting the software requirements as well. This will be in a form of a requirement specification or user story or any type of a documentation that would store what is needed to be done. They also maintain and update what is called a product backlog. A backlog is a set of features that are to be developed as a part of this product or a project. So they are the ones who are responsible for maintaining this product backlog. And also, product owners are typically very good communicators because this is a senior role and they are very good at communicating. They are responsible for communicating with the client and other senior management individuals. And also, if this involves multiple products, they will do bulk of this coordination across those multiple products. So product owner is a kind of a very important role in any software development team. So the next up, we have engineering manager. So he's, as the name suggests, he's responsible for successful development of the software. And they manage engineers. Typically, all the software engineers would report to the engineering managers. They manage day-to-day progress of work of software engineers. And if they face any difficulties or impediments, the engineering manager would provide solutions or help them to overcome those impediments. And engineering managers are typically, they are coming from a software engineering background. They were, in the past, typically they were software developers or engineers in the past, and now they have become engineering managers. So they are able to advise the team on a wide range of issues, including architectural issues, design issues, or there are many types of issues that they are able to advise on. So they provide advice to the team day to day, on a day-to-day basis. So that's a very important role. And if you take the career path of an engineering manager, you would have senior managers, directors, and all the way up to vice presidents. You have a good career hierarchy for engineering managers. So that's worth noting. Next up is the business analyst. So I mentioned that the product owner is working very closely with the customer, and of course the business analyst is also working very closely with the customers. They translate business needs into software requirements, and they have a thorough understanding of business requirements as well, and they act as an intermediary between the product owner and the development team, and also they may talk to the customer as well. So they are sometimes they would understand the business domain very well, and they are able to provide guidance to software development teams on customers' priorities. Business analysts are typically very good documenters. They would document software requirements, and also they would document all the decisions that were taken during the implementation for future reference. So in that sense, business analyst is a kind of a bridge between the customer and the development team, and also other roles like product owner. Next up is the software developer or the software engineer. They are responsible for coding of the software, as you all know. So they provide solutions, and of course these solutions has to be of high quality, so that you have to write high quality code. And they might also involved in providing estimates, because before you start any development, typically an estimate is created, because that estimate is used for planning purposes. So providing estimates is a big part of software engineers' work. And as the implementation or coding progresses, they are responsible for giving status updates to the management and to the rest of the project team as necessary. So they do this through various meetings and documented status update notes. So that's part and parcel of the software engineer and developer. And they are able to identify risks in the development as well. And if they see big risks, they will communicate that to the management as well. And if you take a software developer or an engineer, then you may have seen in advertisements, there are various subcategories of developers. So you have full stack developers, you have front end developers, you have back end developers. So let's take a look at each and every title here. So if you take a typical software engineering piece of work, you would have, broadly you can break it down into front end development and back end development. Front end development is what you see in the user interface. You have fields, labels, and navigation, and everything is part of the front end development. And the back end development is what will typically happen when you perform an action in the front end development. For instance, when you hit a save button in the software, then it will trigger something in the back end. That means it will do whatever that is necessary to save that, whatever the record that is being displayed, and that saving will happen in the back end. So we have seen that in the past period, there are specialized developers who could do front end work. So these developers are known as front end developers. So they are specialized in creating front end work. So they are good at defining user interfaces and defining interactions within the user interfaces. So they are front end developers. And then you have engineers focused on back end developments. They would write server code. What should happen when somebody hits the save button? So we have to write data to the database, and they will write that piece of code so that this is stored in a database. So the back-end developers typically would do that. And then there are developers, full stack developers, who are involved in both front-end work and back-end work. So they are more generalists in this arena. So that's, we have full stack developers, front-end developers, and back-end developers. So those are typical specializations of software developers or software engineers. Then